Hi guys, sorry that I couldn't be with you today, but you should have taken your quiz, and then hopefully you're watching this video on Monday. You should have taken your quiz on Friday, and we're going to start the next unit on section 6, or on polynomial equations. You need to take half a sheet of paper, and you should find these on my desk in the little tray, the half sheets of colored paper, and do them just like we did in section 5, where you make the glue strip. This one also has 6 tabs, so it's just like the one you did in section 5. And these are the topics that you're going to put on there, and then you're going to glue the glue tab down to page 70. Okay, so you may need to pause the video and do that, and then we'll start writing in when you come back to me. Okay, solving quadratics. We are not going to go back and relearn how to solve quadratics. You solved quadratic equations in Algebra 2, and you also have done them in Algebra 1, and you probably used them in geometry. So by now, we assume you know how to solve quadratics. You learned, just for a review, to solve quadratics in 4 different ways, basically. You learned to factor. So you solved quadratics by factoring. That is the easiest way if it will factor. You learned to solve them by taking square roots. You learned to solve by completing the square. And you also learn to solve by the quadratic formula. Now these are the 4 ways that you already know how to solve a quadratic equation. So if you come across a quadratic equation, which they will show up within our polynomials, and you don't remember, you may have to go back to one of these and look up how to do it. If you need to review, this is in section 1.4 of this textbook. So if you need to go back and look at those, or look at some videos of those, that would be there. And you just should know how to do them by now. And if you need extra help on them, there's always places to go to find that. But that's solving quadratics. Okay? Polynomial equations. A polynomial equation is an equation in which the degree is greater than 1. That's just a good definition for us. If it is 1, if you had something like 5x plus 7 equals 0, that has a degree of 1, that is linear. That is linear. That would just make a line. Okay? Then when we have the quadratics, where 3x squared plus 5x minus 8 equals 0, that would be a quadratic. Technically speaking, that would be a polynomial, but we're talking about, this section is looking into things that which the degree is greater than 1. The degree is greater than 1. So you may have something like, for example, 5x to the 4th minus 8x cubed plus 4x minus 8 equals 0. Okay. We also will look at some things where we have the square root of 2x plus 7 minus 12 equals 4x. Okay, so maybe instead of greater, we should say other than 1, because this is not necessarily greater, other than 1. So those are getting us started in the polynomials. I'm going to stop this video here because right now the way that I know how to do videos, they can only be 15 minutes, and my next video that you're going to watch will need to be a little bit longer than the 10 minutes that I have left on here. So that is setting this up. Make sure that you folded this, that you have your flaps, you folded it, and that you glued it down to page 70. Also, this is a good place to point out to you that you have in your book, in your notebook, your table of contents page where you should have it glued down, and in here you need to start writing in what is there. Okay, page 65 started your notes. Page 66 was blank. Page 67 is just your Unit 1 title page. And we made that page one day and we titled it Equations and Mathematical Modeling on there. So this was Equations and Mathematical Modeling. Okay, and then page 68 was complex numbers vocabulary. Page 65 was the 1.5 note sheet, which was complex numbers, or you could write complex numbers notes. Page 70 is polynomial equations vocabulary. Polynomial equations vocabulary. This is section 1.6. This one was section 1.5. If you want to go ahead and label this, page 71 is going to be factoring in quadratic form. Page 72 is going to be radical equations and rational equations. Radical and rational equations. And then page 73 is going to be absolute value equations. So you can label that, and that page is glued into your notebook already. Okay, mine's loose, but you should have that glued in. Okay, so that's the setup, and next you're going to want to go watch by factoring. There's not a flap for definition of factoring, but that's the next type of equation that we're going to solve. So I'll see you there.